Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the SabhFIT Podcast. I'm your host, Sabah Kadri, and I'm here to make fitness easy for you so you can apply it to your everyday life. This podcast is based on making science behind your questions easy to understand and accessible, something that I personally find extremely motivating and exciting. All right, so let's get started. All right. So today's episode, as I was thinking about what the theme for episode 3 should be, I was really thinking about something that I keep getting asked every time I do like a Q&A on Instagram, or even like the AMA, the Ask Me Anything kind of a thing. The one consistent question I'm asked every single time is, hey, how do I find the motivation to work out? I've lost all my motivation. Oh, I haven't worked out in a few weeks. Oh, can you give us ways in which you get motivated to work out? So there's no magic, formula here or one magic answer. But I'm here to give you 7 tips for making, getting motivated about working out, especially if you're on a busy schedule, which I think everyone is. Everyone's always running everywhere nowadays, and everyone's busy in some way or the other. Either you're busy taking care of your family, or you're preparing for exams, or you have a full-time job and everything else happening at the same time, and so on. So how do you find motivation in those kind of times? That's what I wanted to address today. And just so you know, it doesn't mean that I'm motivated all the time. And it doesn't mean, honestly, that you will be motivated all the time either if you listen to this. But I think these are just tips and tricks that can help you come out of a slump, or maybe on that one day that you are just trying to get over that finishing line. Hopefully these tips will help. Let's talk about starting off with some of the most common excuses that I make in my life when I'm definitely trying to get out of working out in a particular day. So I wrote some of these down for myself, which is what I'm going to look at right now. If you can see me on YouTube, I have a very busy job. I have a lot to do, so I don't have the time to work out today. Oh no, I have to come home and cook after work, so I don't know if I'll have time to work out. I'm just too tired today. I think everyone would be tired every day. That's kind of how it works. My workout clothes are dirty. Not that all my workout clothes are dirty, but I have made that excuse where it's like, oh, my favorite outfit that I want to wear today is dirty. I have done that. I'm embarrassed to say that, but I have done that. I have too much to do. Yeah, I spoke about that. I'm sore from yesterday's workout, so I'll take today off, and then today becomes tomorrow off and the next day off, and then the next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks have passed and you've not done your workout, right? I don't know if any of this sounds familiar, but I'm pretty sure someone will relate with any of those. You should comment and let me know if that's the case, or send me an email if you're not able to comment on the platform that you're listening to me on. Before I go into the 7 tricks, tips on how to find your workout motivation, especially if you're on a very busy schedule or you're making any of these excuses, let's start off with a very simple disclaimer, which is that every person is different. And what motivates one person might not necessarily motivate another person. In fact, there are different types of motivations as well. Something that I only learned later. When I was doing my certification for fitness training, that's when I learned about this whole idea of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, which honestly, I was like, yeah, of course, that makes so much sense, but I never thought about it. Intrinsic motivation is basically when your motivation comes from within. That's where you focus on things like, for example, I'm going to feel really good after this workout. So that is what I tell myself before the workout. And that's a form of intrinsic motivation. Or, hey, you know what? If I work out, if I do this particular workout today, I'm going to reach my fitness goals. Those are forms of intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is external validation that you're looking for. And we're going to talk about some of these tips will be centered around that, because they are things that can actually help sometimes. And I'm typically a person who is motivated more by intrinsic factors than extrinsic factors. It's more about telling myself that, hey, I'm going to feel really good about this. Hey, I'm trying to achieve a particular goal for myself. If I do this today, I will get closer to that goal. Actually, it could also happen that you can start off with an extrinsic motivation, but over time you get to that point where you started off, for example, because you were posting every day on Instagram that you're doing a 10-day challenge. But then by the end of the 10 days, you just got so excited about how you were feeling every day, or how you felt at the end of 10 days, that now your motivation is coming from how you're feeling. So it can be intrinsic, extrinsic combination. It can also change over time for you. But yeah, I think it's a combination of these things. And I think it's really important for every person to kind of be aware about what it is that demotivates them, so they can look for the motivation by eliminating those factors that are demotivating them as well. So let's get started. All right. I'm going to start off for our 7 tips for getting your workout motivation, especially if you're on a busy schedule. But this would work even if you don't have a busy schedule, by the way. But specifically with a busy schedule, because that's definitely most commonly the excuse that I hear from you all as well. So we're going to start with something that is, you will find this in every possible workout article that you will find online. This is like the simplest of ones, which is setting realistic goals. One of the biggest reasons that people fail in their fitness journeys or lose motivation very quickly is because you set such an unrealistic goal for yourself that there is no way you're going to achieve it. And then because you didn't achieve it, you're going to shrug it off and just not continue that workout journey. So I have heard, I've gotten messages from people saying, hey, I have a wedding to attend to in 10 days. Can you help me lose 12 kilos? Which is almost 20 pounds. That's not realistic. It's not healthy and it's not realistic. Or you can have goals like, I am going to become a size 0 in 2 months, because the celebrity has done it, so I can also do it. These are just setting yourselves up for failure. Try to set goals which are realistic. Try to set goals maybe that are not always centered around the weighing scale. Let me give you examples of goals that I find very, very that I find motivating. So for example, I'd go, hey, I'm going to work out, or I'm going to put either a 30-minute workout or a 45-minute workout, or if I can't do a workout, I'm going to have like an active day of 10,000 steps or something like that for 30 days in a row. That's kind of a goal that I've set for, which is much easier to attain. If you know that you have a really busy schedule where, you're going to be out of the house from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or I don't know, whatever that might be. And then you're saying that, I'm going to be out from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. once this week, but I'm still going to have a goal that I'm going to work out for 7 days in the week. Maybe that might not be very realistic. So then set it up and like, hey, let me at least work out for 5 days in the week, this week, whenever I can find that time. If you've heard of goals, you might have heard of the term SMART. SMART is a way of setting up goals which are specific. So be very specific what you're trying to do. Measurable, that means that you know that you can measure what the success looks like. Achievable, which we just talked about for a little while. Relevant to your particular fitness goals. And then also time bound. So something which is not just very open-ended, because when you don't add specificity and you leave things open-ended, sometimes that can also cause demotivation. Let's talk about tip number 2, which is making or fitting workout into your schedule. So something that I've said a lot in my Insta lives as well, when these kind of questions come up, is that try to find a time in your day where you can block it on your calendar. You know that you can make it happen on that time. So fit it into your schedule, mark it on your calendar. If you are the kind of person who uses a calendar for your daily life, then try to do that. Find a time where you would make the least amount of excuses, so that then once you are consistent over time, it becomes a habit. So for example, work out first thing in the morning after you wake up, or you wake up, you do your morning routine, and then you work out right before you're getting ready for work, or you're going to work out right after you come back from work before you have your dinner. Or there are still some people who work out at the end of the day, at the end of, you've had your dinner, you've done everything, and then after that, it's the last thing that you do before you're sleeping, for example. There's no wrong answer to this. It's just whatever time works for you. Typically, if you're doing a very hard, a workout that's going to really get your heart racing, you want to do that. You don't want to do that closer to bed, because that might affect your sleep. Maybe if you're doing yoga, doing that at the end of the day might be fine. I typically like mornings or evenings, so I give myself that flexibility. So let's say, for example, I prefer a morning, but let's say that today I could not do it in the morning, then I'm going to do it in the evening once I get back from work. Things like that. That works for me. That I have heard, I think from all of my audience members, there is no one specific time that works for them. There are some people who prefer doing the workout at 3 p.m. So a couple of hours after their lunch, but before the evening. So it really depends. It depends on your schedule. Do it in a way that you can be consistent and make it a habit, like I said. The myth of the 21 days, don't believe that one. Many people say that. I have fallen for it myself, to be honest with you, that if you do something for 21 days, it'll become a habit. Actually, there is enough research to show that this number can be completely different from person to person. You can form a habit as soon as, I think the earliest that in a research study, they showed it as 18 days, 1/8. But the longest it took a person in that study to form a habit was 254 days. So, I mean, it could be anything, but don't fall for that. Really just work on consistency as much as you can. Tip number 3, get your workout clothes and shoes on. Trust me, this helps me so much. Many times, if I say that I'm going to work out in whatever I'm wearing, like home clothes or something, the chances are that I will sit on that couch and not get up. And this does happen with a lot of people. When I put this out on my social media recently, a lot of people got back to me saying, this is exactly me. I need to get my shoes on. And if I get my shoes on, I will work out. Another person said, if I wear my workout top, like my sports bra and my top, I will finish my workout. So getting into an outfit that represents working out to you, whatever that might be, is a very easy tip, actually. For me, if I get my workout shoes on, I'm getting my workout done. Tip number 4, make it fun. This is something that, especially if you're like just starting out and you've not been making, it's just hard for you to stick to a habit, for example. Try to add variety to your workout programs. This is something I do. This is kind of why people come to my YouTube channel a lot, is because I love adding variety using good music. Like, that's my USP, is that I use Indian music and I club that with different formats of workout. And I also add dance to it as much as I can. It could be something completely different for you. Maybe dancing is not for you. Then maybe swimming or yoga or cycling or whatever it might be. Weight training. Try to add variety. I mean, that's also good kind of for your overall health, but whatever kind of gets you into that rhythm will help. So variety definitely helps. If it's fun, you will want to come back to it instead of it becoming like, oh, I have to do workout. It becomes like, oh my God, I'm going to do my favorite workout today. So I definitely, that helps me so much. Tip number 5. Now, this is something that doesn't work for me, but I have so many friends that this works with, which is find a workout buddy. Someone who you can depend on, someone who, two people who can motivate each other. Maybe it's a group, maybe it's more than one person that can motivate you. You could do workout challenges together, you could do group classes together. For my workouts during the pandemic, I had these groups of friends that would meet every Sunday on Zoom and do the workout together. That was on my channel. I thought that was really cool. When you have something like this, is a very good example of an extrinsic motivation where you have someone else that is depending on you for getting their workout in as well. You have more responsibility. You can also kind of like cheer each other up. Some people, it could help to make it a competition. If that's what works for you, that's great, but whatever, this tip is all around if that's kind of your jam, which is finding someone to work out with or compete with. Add activity to your day. So I think I touched upon this a little bit earlier in this episode, which is that, don't only depend on your workout. When you start adding activity to your day, like step count, a realistic step count goal, or I'm taking stairs, or I am going to walk to this destination, or I'm going to park my car a little bit farther in the parking lot. When activity becomes a part of your lifestyle, your mindset starts changing over time as well, and your attitude towards working out might also change over time. So kind of just making activity or an active lifestyle part of the way you live can definitely actually have a great impact on your working out consistency as well. And then let's go to tip number 7, which is the last tip, which is track your progress. Everyone does this differently. Everyone, like I said, your motivations are different, right? So the most common one that I have seen that works for people is social media. And I don't know if there's a lot of noise behind me, so I am not really sure if that noise is getting captured by this microphone. If it is, you're going to hear a lot of honking, but hopefully not. Hopefully this is canceling all of that noise out. So like I was saying, tracking your progress, the most common one that I have seen is social media. People might want to put a story every day that says day 1 done, day 2 done, day 3 done. There's nothing wrong with it. It's great. It really, if that's what will help you stay consistent, because somehow now you've been posting and not posting it means that you've not done it, then use that. Use social media to your advantage. It's as it is. It's such a waste of time in general. I post a lot on social media, so I know that's why I'm saying it. But maybe it can do this good for you. It can keep you consistent. Another way, I don't post my daily day 1, day 2 on social media. What I like to do, for example, which again, that comes from that intrinsic motivation part of things, is that I like to keep a calendar on my Google Sheets where I kind of track what I've done. Especially if I don't do workout a particular day, I put it in like bold and like big font saying no workout. It affects me. It helps me. I don't know. It motivates me at least. There are other things that you can do, right? There is, you can take regular measurements. That definitely helps. If you're trying to do programs or challenges, try to take your measurements at the start as well as the end of the programs, challenges. This can really help you. You can use your fitness trackers to look at trends over time. Is your resting heart rate going down? That definitely, that happens with consistent, especially cardiovascular exercises. Are you looking at whether the amount of weight that you're lifting to do a particular move, is that going up? Are you able to add more resistance because you are getting more conditioned? Is your stamina increasing? I could only do 15-minute workouts earlier, and now I can do a 30-minute workout and get through it with high energy. These are things that I've heard on my YouTube channel for sure. Whatever helps you, tracking your progress definitely helps. Just remember that the weighing scale is not the end all for measuring your fitness or your health. At the end of the day, the number on that weighing scale can change because of so many different reasons. It could be hormonal, it could be water retention, it could be just there are fluctuations in our weight from morning to evening. This happens to every single person. So don't get affected by every ounce or every gram that you're losing or gaining on that weighing scale. Think the weighing scale definitely can help you, over time it definitely does tell you, but don't get motivated or demotivated just because that number didn't go exactly in the direction that you were hoping for. There could be other positive changes in your body that could be happening. For example, you could be gaining more muscular strength. When you gain muscle mass and you're losing the fat, your weight might not go up or down, but you could start seeing physical changes in your body. So in addition to the number on your weighing scale, taking measurements of yourself, that can definitely be very helpful as well. Okay, everyone, that brings us to the end of this particular episode. And today's tip of the day, which is centered around a phrase again, is one day at a time. Something that happens a lot with people when you're trying to get to a particular fitness goal is that you can become very impatient. And, if you're not seeing changes every particular day, you can get demotivated and just give up easily. This is again something where that motivation can go away. Think about it one day at a time in terms of what you are doing. So for example, today I finished my workout, check, move on. But because today I did not lose a certain amount of weight, does not mean I stop working out. So one day at a time with respect to your motivation. Think about the long-term goals, but take it one day at a time. It will help you. It will keep your eyes on the prize, but it will not demotivate you by doing this. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Think about it a little bit more. Leave me in the comments below what you thought. If this is a platform where you're not able to leave comments, definitely send me an email or come find me on YouTube and leave me comments. Send me more questions that I can help answer. And thank you so much for listening, everyone. I'm your host, Sabah. And until next time, remember, you got this.